Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Hopefully you survived the weekend. That's always a plus. I'm joined once again by many. We're a total company of 6 today. Nancy is on vacation, but many of the loudest mouthed woke bitches on the interwebs, and we have opinions. Links to everybody are down in the description. Every single person here has their own channel, so make sure you're subscribed. How are you, ladies?
Woo! Excited to be here. Good morning.
Woo! Sorry. I was trying to turn my phone off, and
Maya's already starting trouble this morning.
I'm a troublemaker. It is known.
Yeah.
That's why we love you. What's up, sisters? How you doing?
It's 6 a.m. I'm still waking up.
Oh, but you look so beautiful.
You do.
That's
amazing.
cool.
It's just
I don't know what you talk about. It's only seven. It's already 7
You
a.m.
are, like, we're on the East Coast, and I'm like, yeah.
No, same. Yeah, I'm like it's 9,
o'clock for
and
y'all,
I'm.
isn't it?
God.
Well, y'all were
Is it 9 o'clock for you
live
East
streaming
Coasters?
all
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah,
it's
no,
9
and that's the
a.m.
other thing. I went to sleep 7 hours ago, and I've already been awake for an hour and a half. So
Yeah.
it's just been
I stayed up and watched Bad Science Sunday last night, so I probably shouldn't have, but it's so good.
Mhm.
Nice.
Because it was
was a
Ember's birthday.
I
Happy
know.
birthday.
Happy
No,
belated.
slightly older.
we're all a day older. It's okay.
Well, the interesting thing about birthdays is until you make it to 50, it's more than 2% of your total life every year. After 50, you hit 2%. 1 year is 2%, and then it decreases. So the math gets weird. It's not important.
Then you start
Wow.
aging dog ears. We get it.
And Maya, aren't you and I exactly the same age? Like, are we a day apart? Is that what we
Yeah,
decided?
it's like 1 or 2 days apart. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Which
Mhm.
is cool. It's cool. Because she's kind of like I know you have many sisters, but I kind of feel like you're a soul sister.
There you go.
Because when
Twin.
we were talking about when I was on your channel, or when I did my stream for your channel, I remember us talking about like morals and things like that. And I'm like, I feel like I'm a man on an island. And you were like, no, I feel the same way. And then you were like, I was wondering when your birthday was and I'm like, oh, right. It is. We are cosmically aligned. And that's
Exactly.
why we speak so well.
I love it.
Speaking of shows and channels, we have to talk about the future of this show. This was originally an opportunistic attack to take a time slot to pirate it away while Chris from the Daily Atheist Morning Show is on vacation. He'll be back on Wednesday, and that means, Rion, you go back to doing that show, and we got to figure out what we're going to do. Do we want to make this a permanent thing? And if so, do we want to make it daily, weekly? What time? Where? How many? Should it go? We can't continue co-streaming it, unfortunately, because the plan that lets us do that expires on Tuesday. It's a trial plan, and I can't afford to continue it. So we have to put it somewhere. So we have to sort all these things up, and we decided we wanted to discuss it live, so you, our dear audience, can have a say, can have a vote to let us know what you think. So do chime in with your various opinions. But of course, our availability isn't subject to vote. We can do what we can do when we can do it. So what are all y'all's thoughts?
I think we could do like, if not all of us are, available on the same day and time, we could switch around and hopefully be on at the same time at some point. If we can't figure out a time that works for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to doing something that comes on after Chris's show's over, but I imagine Ryan's going to be exhausted by that point.
Right. Yeah. Same here.
I would only be able to do that 3 times a week. So if that's something you would want to do, I mean, 3 times a week for me would not be much at all. So that would be up to y'all if you want to do that.
I'm seeing a suggestion from Seth Ambushed Apostate in the chat. Would Chris be open to taking a day off per week and letting you guys do a weekly takeover of the damn show?
Yeah, Chris.
That's not a bad idea.
Now
not
that's
a bad
very
idea.
interesting from the fans.
I
Well,
know.
Chris has always
Well.
said that the damn network was supposed to be more of a network where people kind of came and
Oh, I
hosted
love
and did
that.
other things.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he's so busy with everything it entails to run a show every day that he doesn't have much time to do his own filming, his own, for the things he wants to do for his own personal stuff. So he may be open to that.
Great
Yeah.
idea. Thank you.
But I mean, just even if it's just one day of the week where we do a panel in place of the damn show, that'd be
Right.
kind of cool.
And I'm open
Yeah.
to weekend mornings too,
Sweet.
personally. But yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of days and days off. Who knows if people want to do it? But yeah.
That's one of the trade-offs. Like if we do fewer days, like 1 day a week or even 3 days a week, then there'd be more pressure to show up for every show. Whereas if it were daily,
Right.
like there was a show and it was optional, whether we had the availability or the spoons or whatever to show up, it would be less of a big deal if somebody missed one. Or
Like
As
some-
long as like there's 2 or
rotational
3 of
almost.
us here, right?
Good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And there's other gals that we could rope into this too.
All
yeah,
the
there's several.
sisters.
There's several people who I'm sure would want to and should be up here, even if I need to bow out so other people have a voice. Like I'm always cool with that as well.
Right. Me too. Same. I agree.
yeah.
Well, and
Spooky
Ryan
says
had been
stream 3
talking for
times
a
day.
while about Ryan had been talking
Sure.
about something that would be a rotational sort of thing that was more women focused,
Yeah. So that we
for
could
a
like
while. So who knows?
showcase other people too, not just
Yeah.
us. Yeah. That would
Right.
be good.
Elevate the voices of women.
Right.
Who all
in
is
these online
streaming this
spaces.
morning? I know I
agree.
see Patti streaming and Maya streaming. Is Ember streaming?
Yep, we're live on my channel and also
Mine should be too.
the backup channel where I'm putting these for now until we decide for sure where the hell what's going to be the home for these. Like, are we going
Yeah.
to put them on one of our specific channels? Are we going to put it on its own channel? Because if we do that, I think we should do it sooner rather than later, while we can get the message out to everybody, rather than wait till after the move and everybody goes, where did you all go?
Get that set up first or soon.
Speaking
But-
of Henry, that was Henry. He's one that would say
Henry.
good morning to everybody.
Woof, woof.
He said, good morning.
24 hours a day.
That's funny.
Y'all be
Yeah,
sick of
we could just
Just
chain all
carry.
the streams together, just one forwards to the next automatically.
just keep forwarding.
Aw, like at Christmas with purple.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so we have some ideas. Should we maybe just put up some kind of poll somewhere and then just see what the
That's another
audience
plus of
suggests? Or
doing a single dedicated channel is being able to do polls, because like we can do polls in each of our chats, but
Right.
we won't get collected information from the whole audience.
Mhm.
Yeah, then we will have to count each channel.
Bree
Well,
appears
yeah,
to be
we
muted.
have to post a poll on each of our channels and then
Each one
Do
of
a
your
confession, I
audiences
guess.
is going to want something different, don't you know?
yes, of
It's true.
course. Of course. Well, okay. So maybe the
Young
rest
Bree,
of it
are you
we
kidding
can
me?
discuss behind closed doors.
But yeah, we're on my channel, the backup channel, which currently is youtube.com/@skeptits, because it was available, so I couldn't resist. AJ's channel, Way to Stay Human, Patty's channel, the Apostate Sisters, and Maya's channel, which is Maya's name.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
No. Well,
Okay. Well,
So
we still have one more
Remember?
show in the pirate time slot tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. And that one will be able to co-stream everywhere that everybody wants to. So we can ponder this overnight, but we do have to decide tomorrow. But we can set it aside for now and talk about the most evil motherfucker to die this past week.
I ain't
Pat
sad.
Robinson, he
I'm
died in
not sad.
2022.
They're all starting to pass away, but the new ones are coming up in their place, which is why we got to get it.
But
at
that's
the
why
root.
they train them.
Hey, Limbo
Mhm.
gone too.
Gross.
Mhm.
I actually used to listen to Focus on the Family, like unironically,
Mhm.
when I was
A lot of people did.
22, because I was
So that's
like trying to make sure I'd be a good wife and stuff someday. It's terrible.
That's some Fred Phelps shit, though, right? The focus on the family and God hates queers and all that.
Yep.
Oof.
God hates
Westboro
everyone,
Baptist
apparently.
Church, Fred Phelps. Yeah, is he still around? Yeah, I think no, he died in
Probably.
2023. He
Or
died.
did he?
Robertson died, and now Dobson died.
Yeah,
That's
which is dead.
trifecta, right? That's what they call it, trifecta.
Oh, Greg
they
Locke
all-
is still around, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
this is
many.
the younger generation of asshole.
Yeah, Greg Locke's
Right.
the next generation, right? We still got, but we do have like.
no, I mean
Hogan
it's
and
just
Ham
like
to worry
they're
about.
never gone, and they just keep getting eviler.
Well,
Yeah,
they
the next
have all these
generation.
apprentices that just step right up into their boots, ready
Yeah.
to like a Matt Powell or
Yeah.
Greg Locke,
Yeah.
Donnie
next
from
generation-
Standing for Truth. All these
Oh,
terrible.
no, Donnie does not deserve to be listed with the
Yeah,
likes
Donnie's
of
not
like
on that level.
Matt
he's
Powell.
Robert-
I think
No.
he deserves to be
Yeah.
listed with Matt Powell at least.
no.
No, you don't think so?
Matt
I don't
Powell is
know- I
fucking
don't know
evil.
this.
He, that Matt. I mean, I don't think Donnie. I don't know. He's not like actively like rallying people up. He's not a preacher. He's not motivating people to do things. He just has this like second-rate 2-bit YouTube channel where he platforms people like Kent Hovind, but like it's not like he's burning books or putting money towards conversion therapy or like
Yeah, he's not a nationalist Christian. He's
Yeah.
just a pseudoscience
an
guy.
idiot.
Well, he's
Average.
Canadian, so yeah.
Hey, Canadian. Hey, if Brits can be nationalists, Canadians can be nationalists.
Yeah, but the Canadians got to be sorry about it, though. That's the thing.
See, this is what I want to do. I want to get like some kind of chart and chart it out, and then we ourselves like map out all these guys and where we rank them in this, like
Why?
from.
You want to
I
do
don't know.
an
Look,
evil
Oh,
tier list?
I want to.
Evil.
I want to know about them.
Throw them
I
all
don't
over
know
there.
these people.
Yeah.
Shoot them
I
into
don't know
the sun.
these people, but I don't
Dobson
know
would
these
be up
people.
there, though.
Okay.
Yeah, there are
There's
a
no
lot
rank-
more
there's-
evil people.
there's no
of
ranking.
Donnie's
I mean,
generation.
Yeah. I mean,
There's, Isaiah
I
Saldivar, there's Cap, there's
Voldemort,
Pip, there's every fucking name.
Is it like a Venn diagram of nationalist, patriarchal, Christian, and then like the overlaps
The
of that?
intersection. Yeah, I bet there
The
is.
no, there's
actual
no, they're
out
all
in
on the
plain
same
sight.
side.
The worst part about these people is they're held up so high as these beacons of morality. Like Mother Teresa, that bitch was awful. She let people just wallow and
don't get me
die of
started.
AIDS. And just celebrated it,
Because
Terrible
suffering is
person.
good.
and they lift
Well,
and they
Matt's
elevate
one
her
kind
up.
of person.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, she's one of the
But
terrible ones. I can't believe people still let her name slip out of their mouth.
He's commenting on every channel.
didn't they make her a saint?
Did they?
Yeah, I think
do
so.
that?
don't
The
think
Catholic
Rob
Church made
quite
Teresa a
blessed.
saint.
I know
Bless
they
her.
when
Wait,
she first
5
died, they were
years.
fighting it hard. They were like, she didn't do any miracles, which is you have to have that to be canonized. But
Eh.
So I should be canonized then, because these are
Thank you,
American.
Helen. It's, I mean, it varies from church to church. If you still consider
Okay.
Catholicism to be the only legitimate source of sainthood, like none of the other religions that have ever had saints through all of history count, only the Catholic Church,
Oh,
then
yeah.
yes, you have to
She
have
was-
2 confirmed verifiable miracles. But if you go with the possibility that any other church can have saints, demigods, honored elders, all of that crap, then conceivably every single person here already is a living saint.
so Pope Francis canonized her in 2016.
Fucking hell, Francis.
Like,
But-
seriously, bro?
On happier news,
Maya, you were raised Catholic, right?
Yeah.
But he was the
No,
best.
No, I remember
I
when
know.
no, when she died, she was hailed by all Catholics, and the church was just like, "What's the miracle? What's the miracle?"
Damn,
And
I didn't realize
so
that.
I was, yeah, it was.
How old were you when you found out she was a piece of shit? Just
I didn't find
I was an
anything out until
adult.
until like I deconstructed, unfortunately, because I was just so
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
isolated.
they don't tell us the fucking truth.
Mhm.
I'm not sure whose channel Lilith is watching on, but Stardust
Maya.
Lilith since $5.
I'm sorry,
Tyranny.
I'm over here reading.
And
I am so sorry.
yes, do send
Stardust
super
Lilith,
chats
thank
to
you so
support
much.
whichever creator you're watching on. Lilith says, "Ladies, you have no idea how much I need Java and Jugs this morning. Thanks for everything you would do."
It's
Yeet,
Java
that's why we're
Cheers.
here.
We got both.
I don't need
We're
no
so happy
drugs,
you're
no
here.
Java.
We need our own
This.
theme song. We need our own theme song. We're gonna have to figure that out too. That's down the road. But anyway, besides the point, Dobson. Back to Dobson.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dobson.
Do we have to? All right, so give us the rundown. Who the fuck is this Dobson fellow for anybody who hasn't heard?
Responsible for creating a framework that's insidious, and it's now
FOTF.
and it's now like pervasive that it's in our politics deeply.
Well, that was his thing, right? Like, somebody sent a link this morning detailing out how he came from a long line of pastors. So this was like super steeped, right? Except instead of actually being a pastor, he took a page out of, I'll say, not that it was direct, but out of like my cult leader's playbook, and he became a media mogul.
Yeah.
Right. So he made his whole thing, his books and his radio program and all of that to spread his gross message of hate against LGBTQ people and his super hyper genderified message that caused a lot of harm to people.
So yeah, he actually, I believe, had a PhD in psychology and comes out of like that old school Dr. Spock. Yeah, like school of child rearing. So today, and you know what? It's really interesting. And a lot of the doctors, I remember back when I was on Twitter, watching Dr. Josh Bowen just try to explain to idiots all the time that stating the scholarly consensus is not an appeal to authority, but in trying to explain why it's so important. And it's for things like this, because you have Dobson, who, and we really should talk more about what Focus on the Family, he's the founder of Focus on the Family and about what that actually did. But he started it with this old school line of thought that, you know, spare the rod, spoil the child. And, you know, kids should be disciplined physically, but lovingly. And what that should look like. And that women are, we want and need, and our bodies crave the guiding hand of a strong man. It just all of these things where, you know, we have a lot of the science is founded in, oh, I see this, I want to confirm that my bias is correct. And as we see that these things are not correct, the sciences are moving towards, you know, more of a fact-based model of their interpretations. But he never let that go. He really, I mean, he just had this really rigid view of the Bible, and he needed to impose his will onto others. And he really laid the foundation for a lot of the hurt and pain that we're seeing today. He led the foundations for a lot of the conversion therapies. And, you know, like all the rights we're seeing stripped away now. Oh, he was also, until I think 2010 at least, or something like that, one of the, always a close advisor to the president, including Ronald Reagan through his entire administration, about what the American family should look like and what laws needed to be legislated so that we could, you know, quote unquote, get back to them. I could go on and on for a solid hour just on like how flawed these perspectives are.
Well, he had Love One Out Ministries, which is an anti-gay conversion therapy ministry.
Of course.
he used serial killer Ted Bundy as a platform to launch an anti-pornography campaign, which is still echoing today. We're still rolling in that. That's where that comes from. It all rolls downhill from this, because he was Ronald Reagan's advisor, right? His spiritual advisor. So he started this whole anti-gay, and I shouldn't say started it, but put that bug in the conservative ear about using that as a platform to appeal to evangelical voters. So that's,
prior
you
to
really
the Reagan
see that amp up.
administration, there wasn't really, it wasn't even, the evangelicals were broadly pro-freedom. They were, if not pro-choice, at least apathetic about it. They didn't give a crap about gays as a policy. Maybe they were icky, but they didn't try to take political action against them. They were broadly of a mind on civil rights generally, like only white people should vote. But again, they weren't politically motivated in that direction. They just had horrendous opinions. That changed thanks to Reagan and people like Dobson, who backed him and pushed him in a more regressive direction.
Yeah, and again, you have to remember back before the 90s, I don't even know that it would have been necessary. You had the 80s led the whole part of the satanic panic was, the AIDS pandemic and God reaping his wrath upon gay people with this plague, the gay plague, which
is, used to call it grids.
Which is why we lagged so much on treatments for AIDS, because they were just like, well, let it, it's a plague from God. Let's just let it run its course. It's so evil.
Oh, they used that to their advantage, and that makes me so upset.
Yeah. Using people as pawns.
Killing people for political power. Because while they spun it to the public as God is punishing them for their sinful ways in order to provoke hatred of gay people and force more of them back into the closet or whatever, behind the scenes, they don't actually care about any of that stuff. It's just about power. It's just about taking over. And they knew that gay voters tend to be liberal voters. So every one of this community killed off is an easier election win for them.
Yep. Oh my goodness. How evil and conniving. My goodness. And to their detriment, right? Like all of these policies are to their detriment, but they won't see it as such. As long as they feel like they're the chosen ones or special, and the other people are just, again, like a pawn in this war. But allowing AIDS to spread, I mean, that's only going to harm everybody's community, because AIDS doesn't choose. AIDS doesn't just choose gay people.
Right. They didn't know that. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Maya.
No, just a real quick on Ryan's comment. Like, we didn't know that in the 80s. It was brand new. And that was, I do believe, well, Reagan, again, it's so funny that people kind of rip on Joe Biden for having dementia, but I don't know, working with actual dementia patients, I see it differently. Reagan actually did have, and we know this now, he actually did have dementia. So and dementia is a mental illness. So I don't want to be too, what do you call it? Ableist. Thank you. Yeah. But
no, I understand.
I do believe that Reagan honest and truly believed that it was that God sent a gay plague. And that he was driven through his morality to fuck us over. But I'm sorry, Bree, go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just it was about the what Michael Granado said about the war on drugs too. That's another thing that years later that we found out, was kind of built in to try to get liberal voters, I guess, black voters hooked on drugs, so that as a form of population control and demonization. Reagan also brought on this idea that the welfare queen, he would just, I mean, we could do an episode of this.
Oh
about
yeah,
Reagan.
I would love. We could do an episode just on Reagan's racism, because seriously, Reagan. I mean, he knew what he was doing there. He hated Black people. The U.S. was one of the last countries to stand against the apartheid in South Africa because of Reagan. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on that. We're talking about Dobson today.
Let's talk about.
We can do that. We can do a
in
separate.
California. That went well, didn't it?
No, we're talking about Dobson. Bree does this to me all the
funny,
time.
though,
She tries to poison me with
just
weed,
cool with it.
and she gets me off track.
People come here for the tangents.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like the stream wherever you are, guys.
Reagan.
Like and subscribe.
And speaking of tangents,
No, I mean it's just impossible to talk about bad policy without Reagan coming up. I'm sorry to AJ. Go ahead.
I mean,
another horrible thing that Dobson did was normalize corporal punishment for children.
Mhm.
Like, obviously that was always around, but when you think about all of these movements, what they do is normalize things not just for religious people, but for society as a whole. Even when I just first moved to the US, there were just so many things that now I'm realizing were normal, that were not normal for me growing up because I wasn't raised in a religious family, but I will see them as normal here in within society. All of these things that you guys were just talking about, plus the corporal punishment for children in schools and in public spaces. And like when my kid first, who has OCD, first started showing symptoms of OCD, having like rituals that had to be done and in a specific order, and then getting really upset if they were not done correctly and had to be repeated. We even had family members who knew our kid before those symptoms set in, being like, well, they're just spoiled, you just gotta spank them, and it was a mental health issue. After we got the treatment, medication, the symptoms completely went away without us having to beat it out of them, right?
Right.
So
you can't beat a brain into a different neurology, but
exactly.
there've always been people who, they get angry at their children and want to control them and they lash out. And there have always been people who do that, and there always are going to be people who do that. It's child abuse, but there are child abusers. What Dobson did was say, not only is that okay, you're right to do it, that anybody who doesn't do it is parenting wrong.
And
it's child abuse to not.
Right.
It's child abuse to not spank your child. That is what Dobson believes.
Yeah.
he made it holy.
And that permeated, like, even all of us were probably spanked. And it was because of this. Like, you can't raise a child properly if you don't spank it.
Yeah. With my own kids, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, you need to beat that kid's ass. You need to, if an ass whoopings will straighten that right out, or something like that, about my own kids, from family, from friends.
Yeah. No, my son was on the spectrum, and I didn't realize the damage I was doing and how I was making it worse, because my entire life, this is what all anyone had known. And thank God I got him into therapy by 9. And, it was just a slow process of unraveling, the damage and educating both me and him as to, what proper techniques look like. And I went from, beating the shit out of him to, okay, well, I'm going to take the batteries out of your toy. You can have them back and play with the toy when you, pick up your room, do the dishes, or, whatever it is I'm asking you to do. So it looks different. And, I think that parents just don't understand. So spanking a kid as child abuse is being perceived now as more of a liberal, a woke liberal, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's not actually as permeated into the zeitgeist as, just beat the shit out of it into compliance.
Yeah. When did
It's very
smacking kids around
infuriating.
become political, right?
Exactly. We have the data. We know that we can do these other things that aren't that.
Yeah, but they don't trust any any kind of soft science medicine like that, like
Or even read
psychology related.
Yeah, I know.
I've heard that I've heard from multiple people that's a liberal conspiracy, a Jewish conspiracy, a woke ideology. I mean, that's how they get away with demonizing gender affirming care for trans people, right? That it's all based on psychology, and psychology is not real because the Bible doesn't mention psychology. So,
well, there.
But I see, this is how I'm saying, like, it gets into society, like in even in parts of society that are not, that you wouldn't expect to be religious based, you know.
It's
So
so
I never
wild
someone.
how they
you
say
didn't. Done. Good.
Psychology isn't real, but then at the same time they're like, what you need to do is send them to psychologists and have their brain rewired by talk therapy and also electrocution. Like,
no, they do not.
Conversion therapy.
Yeah, that is not that you're not sending them to any licensed professional outside of like a Kenthoven doctorate, where they're Christian therapists. Conversion therapy is considered torture by any
everyone,
licensed.
yes.
Yeah.
But from their perspective, that's legitimate therapy, right? As opposed to the woke therapy with people with their PhDs and fancy educations.
Well, yeah, but they do, in fairness, they do make a distinction between, I hate using the term secular, what they call secular
psychology.
Right. Yeah. Genuine psychology. They call it secular psychology, and religious, because, they're God-led and it's God-based, and, God has ordained this therapy or treatment, and, or this torture, and they won't see it as that. It's, I think it is really important to distinguish that. And it's things that I say to Christians too. And I'm like, when you're looking at the Old Testament, you're looking at a group of people who still have very small numbers, who were trying to maintain their numbers. And they're looking at a bunch of fucking men, and saying, oh my God, what are you doing? No, we need to be creating more people, more soldiers, more, we need to, so stop doing that. It wasn't, and I'm sure at that time it was what was needed for them, for whatever their goals were, but it never says that it was for the intent purposes of anyone but God's chosen people. So to try to and let's just say you believe that you are God's chosen people, or you elect in. Never ever in the history throughout the entire Bible does it say that any of these laws should be applied to non-chosen people. So, this whole thing with Dobson trying to shove his specific religion down the throats of the entire society is kind of blasphemous.
Well, it's the bodily autonomy issue, right? Like Ember talks about every conspiracy theory leading back to control of bodily autonomy. And it's like that hasn't been normalized enough. And so we were able to like make up these other excuses for why it's okay to do these things to kids. But the whole thing is to control their bodily autonomy, for them to not have, or mental autonomy, honestly, too, for them not to have even that's
where it
starts. Have the chance to know themselves, to think, oh, I can find out who I am and be myself.
That
they want to grab a hold of it and tell you, here's your box,
power,
you need to get in it,
and you have to control people through power.
This is why so many
people
refer to
first they have to control
kids.
your mind.
Yeah, this is why so many people refer to LGBT kids as a canary in the coal mine, because once it becomes socially okay to torture children for the state to tell them who to be, it starts to become okay to do it to all the children.
Yeah.
Right. Oof, so true.
So let me just, because I want to, since we were talking about conversion therapy, I want to circle back to Love One Out, which was a ministry that was funded and supported by Dobson. It was started by ex-gay at the time. That's what he called himself, John Polk. In 2000, it started in 1998. It was founded in 2013. The leading, heading the charge leader of this movement, John Paul, released this statement. Today, I do not consider myself ex-gay, and I no longer support or promote the movement. Please allow me to be clear. I do not believe that reparative therapy changes sexual orientation. In fact, it does great harm to many people. I know that countless people were harmed by things I said and did in the past. Parents, families, and their loved ones were negatively impacted by the notion of reparative therapy and the message of change. I am truly sorry for the pain I have caused. From the bottom of my heart, I wish I could take back my words and actions that caused anger, depression, guilt, and hopelessness, and probably a few deaths along the way. In their place, I want to extend love, tenderness, joy, and truth that gay people are loved by God. Today, I see LGBT people for who they are, beloved, cherished children of God. I offer my most sincere and heartfelt apologies to men, women, and especially children and teens who felt unlovable, unworthy, shamed, or thrown away by God or the church. So even the leader of this movement, right? Like the person that Dobson put in charge of his conversion therapy came out and said, no, it doesn't work. So if there's anybody out there with any doubt that conversion therapy is an answer, the people who say send your trans child to therapy and that's what they mean, because if you send your trans child to therapy, your gay child to therapy, the therapist is not going to try to make them not gay, make them not trans. That's not how therapy works. That's proven to be harmful, and there's no accredited physician that will do that besides like what Maya said, a Kent Hovind level of doctorate. So if you're sending your kid to conversion therapy, it's not healthcare. And even the people who innovated the pathways that they take through that conversion process says that it doesn't work. So take that what you will.
HHS has now rebranded it as exploratory therapy.
But they use the word therapy.
There's a lot of fun propaganda coming out of our government recently. It's
thanks RFK.
Okay.
But the actual boards for psychology and stuff, they're not going to be on board with that. I mean, even if RFK says yes, this is exploratory therapy, they're not going to, like, actual doctors, are they actually going to do this if they're going to be following ethics of their respective fields?
Fuck no.
Not if they're following the Hippocratic Oath.
Wow.
Right. I mean, virtually every medical organization that has anything to do with it has come out against it decades ago. Most of them in the freaking 80s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm noticing Left-Handed Jedi says being a left-hander and enduring a Catholic education because I had the devil in me breaks my heart that someone else might endure what I did. Like, okay, I know people that as late as the 80s were left-handed and were being told nasty things about their left hand.
Yeah. I'm ambidextrous because of it.
Oh my gosh. And like, if we couldn't even let people be who they wanted to be, we still had to shove them into the right hand box. Like, no wonder we're so fucked right now.
That is wild. Yeah, because that is an antiquated mindset. Right. Like, my mom is 80. Okay, she'll be 80 this year. And she said when she was in, I want to say preschool or like early elementary school, she remembers teachers slapping the back of her hands with a ruler when she tried to write with her left hand.
Yep.
And like, so we're talking about that was the 50s. And she said by the time she hit middle school, they had stopped and were letting her write, however she wanted to write. So like late 50s, early. So she was born in 45. So we're talking about mid to late 50s when they stopped doing that. And then you're saying the 80s, they were still telling people that they were demon possessed. Holy crap.
So
I didn't get told I was demon possessed. I just got told that I'm supposed to write with my right hand and I had to stop writing my left. I still throw with my left hand and do like anything else besides writing and painting and stuff. I do with my left hand, because they didn't force me to learn how to do that with my right hand, but they forced me to learn how to write with my right hand.
I don't even understand the mindset that went behind that. It was like that
micromanaging to that extent.
Right. Everybody has to be this cookie cutter, perfect version of like, to the point where, I mean, what are you like running out of seats? Are there too many left-handed people and they're just like bothering the right-handed people? I don't understand like why this is a thing.
There's a strategy to it. Like most of these things that are propagandistic, it isn't just to spread a message, it's for a political purpose. And left-handedness was an easy thing for people in the early 20th century to point at and pick on and say, if we control this, it sends a message at a subconscious level that we have control over your life. You need to do as we say, because we are here to tell you who to be. They only needed to focus on one or two specific things: dress code, attitudes, music in some places, but left-handedness was an easy one to pick on because it goes to the core of who you are. It's telling you, no matter what your biology is, we will control you.
Cultastic.
I wish we could go back and point out how many presidents to these people that were doing that, how many presidents of the United States were left-handed, because like it's disproportionate.
It does not matter. And it goes back to the thing that I'm always saying, like, we need to hold the line and we don't need to let any group lapse or fall through, because they're gonna keep coming. It's not gonna stop. It'll get back to left-handedness. Like when the country is down to only cis het white people, they're going to find something else.
There always needs to be an enemy.
Yeah.
There always has to be an enemy.
How the us versus them works. One
so
group by one
because
group.
They can't let up an inch. Otherwise, we're going to see who's actually pulling the strings. As we've done in the past, and it didn't work out well for them. So they've been doing the divide and conquer ever since. And
even if it does get back to the cis white people, they're still going to marginalize the women.
Yeah.
Even if that's half the population.
No, again.
Yeah.
Usually I say this to the white men, but they're, it's like everybody else here is saying, there has to be another. They don't know any other strategy.
Yeah, but the left-handed thing is a very, very easy way to normalize pointing out differences in people and making it okay to do that.
Policing people, making it okay to police people, and normal to rat someone out.
Exactly.
Yeah. In many ways, a lot of people, I mean, there was that whole movement in the 60s and 70s, Phyllis Schlafly, who was against women's liberation. She didn't see herself as evil, despite the fact that she very much was. And it was obvious in the harm she caused to people around her. She's the famous pie in the face lady who campaigned against gay rights, too. I may be confusing her with someone else. The point is, there are anti-feminist women who are running around, or always have been running around. To them, the oppression of women is safety. Because as long as we're men's property, we're not being hurt by other people in the same way left-handed people are, in the same way immigrants are, in the same way Jews are. The worst that happens to women in that circumstance is being beaten by your husband because you're his property. At least that's the idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course, yeah. Thus saith the holy book. And I'm not, it's not an anti-religious thing. It's just like places like Focus on the Family. It's just so weird that, I don't know. I'm always saying to Kip Davis, I actually do love learning about ancient religions, and you can see kind of how the Bible has its own special place within its genre. And it can be a beautiful callback to, a particular time and a reference for learning, if read properly. But there's just way too much liberty taking with the text with places like this, and to the point where you're trying to tell other people how they should live your life, like as if you I haven't looked into Dobson too much, but I mean, it is a common old school thought where, my way is the right way. And I don't even want to see people with blue hair. It just bothers me so much. Like, let's legislate away the blue hair dye because it's not what God would have
wild.
wanted. It's insane.
No more septum piercings. No more visible tattoos. They disturb. It's just a snowball. I need people like, oh, that's a slippery slope fallacy. No, we've seen this happen to countries.
It is not. We ourselves have fought back from this.
Look at Iran in the 1970s. If you think a country can't backslide into total conservative, I guess authoritarianism, because they were wearing bikinis at the beach in Iran until the 1970s, and now everybody's fully covered under. So
Afghanistan now,
a country can backslide.
Go to Kabul in 2000, and it's modern outfits, it's mini skirts and open tops and all sorts. Today, burqas. There was a recent news article where the arch conservatives are pushing for women wearing eye patches because it was too much exposed skin, and you only need one eye to see where you're going in the streets.
Oh, shut the frick up! You've got to be kidding me! Oh my God!
Right? Come on.
When your pet has more freedom than your wife.
Hello?
Yeah. When your livestock has more freedom than your wife.
Mm-hmm.
But
and
this is, go ahead. You first.
I should say the brand of Christianity that we're watching come to popularity or rise to popularity is not too far off. Not wanting women to vote, wanting them to be under the umbrella of their husband. It's still an extreme version. Maybe they don't want to, kill us, but
doing away with no fault divorce.
I wouldn't be surprised if it went there.
They do want to get rid of no fault divorce.
They're trying.
Though.
They are actively trying.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Several states it's on the table. There's several states where there's active proposals to remove the right to vote from women. That won't do anything at the state level because it's guaranteed by a federal constitutional amendment, but the federal government has to enforce that. And the more states do it, they call them trigger laws, right? They put the laws in place so that when the appropriate legislation is repealed or judicially overturned or whatever, those laws automatically go into effect. It's like that with it was like that with abortion bans. Like, a dozen states or more had abortion bans on the books, and the minute Roe was overturned, abortion was just gone. They didn't have to wait for the legislature to act.
Yeah. I even saw on
legal precedent. Sorry, go ahead, Patti.
Oh no, it's okay. One of our shows from last week, I saw a trolley comment come through about perfect example of why we need to repeal the 19th Amendment.
I get that on
people are starting to think this way.
Yeah. Oh no,
I get that on my post regularly, and it's like, if you only knew,
they
legally you would make me vote anyway.
The right manosphere, like the Charlie Kirks and the Mount Walshes, and so on and so forth. Those that I really don't even want to say their names, but they're pushing that hard right now, that women are too stupid to vote, and one vote per family, and
I heard that one.
It's Gilead. It's just open Gilead.
It's funny to see them come at their champions, like MTG's fighting that now. Nancy Mace and Matt Walsh went around on Twitter about it because Matt Walsh doesn't think she should be in a position of government power.
Who is that woman?
Nancy's face. She doesn't
there's
know
a
what
woman.
to do with it.
I'm sorry, but no, it is. It's interesting to see the women who are clearly power hungry fighting back on this. There's also a woman, I can't remember her name, but she's running for something with the express goal of creating laws to prevent women from being able to vote or hold office.
Even though she's going to be holding office.
Ran on that platform. When I'm president, I will make it. I will remove women's right to vote. Like,
she's
what do you mean? You're a woman.
90-degree angle.
No self-preservation.
What is she going to step down after?
It's not even
Yeah.
logical.
No, yeah, she would have
No.
to, yeah. And
Welcome
yeah,
to
that
America.
they're fine with that if they can step down into the world that they want to live in. And I'm like, I sometimes I'm just like, can we just like throw them all into like Utah or somewhere where they can, just I think the government should just pay, like we should just find a state, pay for all of these people to move into that state or states, pay anybody who wants to leave this said state just 100%. You can go to whatever other state. We're going to live peacefully where we respect others' rights. You guys can live in Jesus land where, you Gilead, have Gilead rules, and, you don't have to, you can block the internet and, do whatever you want so that your people don't have to look at us with rights, and they can just stop being mad. And I just,
the thing is,
I don't care if you want to.
When they're, I have such a
I know,
hard time with
and
that.
it would not be safe for any of us to live in next to neighbors like that. That's the thing that sucks. Like I am like, please do what you want, but goddamn, if they go build this nation of people exactly like them and they're next door to us,
Well,
I wouldn't feel
it's no different than any other country that's dealing with that. I mean, you think that South Korea feels 100% safe, but I mean, it's possible. And especially, I mean, right now we're still the world power. Right now we still do have allies. Like right now we still do have the ability to keep a place like that in their place. It's like, if you want to do whatever you want to do, you guys stay over here because you're toxic. Like we can't let you out. But I if that's how you want to live, I think you deserve to be able to, live that way. And like, maybe we keep an eye on it. And if their children are like, no, I don't want to do this, I went out, then we create a very easy pathway to get them out of that area. But they're not going to be happy until there's like 100% takeover, and trying to fight. It's just so crazy trying to fight like with a nation this big and with people spread out this much. We need a stronger support system to maintain our rights.
Yeah.
And if it's
top
like
priority has to be human rights above everything else. Like even the free speech thing. Free speech is a human right. If you insist on human rights, free speech is entailed. But if you insist on free speech at the expense of human rights, you're going to lose the free speech also.
Right.
Well, it's not free at that well, not like free, but like it's not free speech like that. Yeah,
people get
at
so
that
confused about what free speech means anyway.
Well, and then
It's
to
true.
talk about the kids in those situations, like, yeah, we got to do something if they want out. But like when you're born into a situation like that, you don't have a chance. You are indoctrinated from birth to where you just believe it because it's your whole world. And so, it's like, if we give them some sort of space, not like we could do that anyway, but if there was, that kind of space to fully encompass them, they'll just grow up in it without realizing, hey, it'd be better if I wasn't here. Hey, it'd be better if we all had autonomy.
It's called the Deep South. It's called the Deep South.
But literally, all minorities are being oppressed in order for all of these religious ideas to come to fruition for them, for the cis white men. They have to dehumanize every single minority, woman, people of color, and I include children. And I have to include children in this because they make them seem like subhuman, like they're not worthy of having what Patti said earlier, not just bodily autonomy, but mental autonomy. It starts
right. Their property because they're not properly programmed yet.
Right. Yeah. Programmed to not speak, to not say no. I try to raise my kid completely different. Like, they can tell me no. if I want to hug and they don't want to hug, that's cool. Like, we don't have to do that. But that is programming to the brain that they have to give this adult a hug or a kiss, or but then it leads to, you know, abuse, to acceptance of abuse as a normal thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, but
emotionally
here's my thing. They're already doing that, but it is affecting people who don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm not actually saying that we shoot them into the sun, but if what they want is to be not, they don't want to have to see da 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 da, and it would still be a part of the United States. I'm not saying let them have their own country. That would not be optimal either. I'm saying let them have their own state or collection states, where, you know, they feel like they have autonomy, but we still can oversee to, you know, to make sure that people aren't actually being abused, to make sure that, you know, because I'm not saying, oh, well, we need to go. Yeah, it would be Gilead, and they can say, okay, well, women have to dress this way. But these are women who want to dress this way. And people who don't, they still have the option to leave, you know,
Right, well,
and there would be like a
But
place
why do they
where
want it?
it's going to be
That's
different
the
for
thing.
the
Nobody's
individual, right?
stopping them.
That's why you get people into
They
the
are
religion so
stopping
early.
my point is that they are stopping us because they don't
They're
want to see
trying.
us. And yeah, right, because they don't want to see us. What I'm saying is give them that. Let them go someplace where they don't have to see that, but that we can still protect them so that they don't feel like they have to take over the whole goddamn nation, you know, and like we can still like, oh, Ryan, are you
Oh, my bad. My bad. I was just saying, do you think they would stop there? That would be my fear.
Yeah, that's the issue. It's the Amish problem, but contagious. Because we already have that with the Amish. They have their own communities. They're separate. They do things their own way.
Exactly.
And the laws are somewhat optional. And the Amish have a built-in mechanism for children to opt out. Once they reach adulthood, they do the Rumspringa thing, and they decide whether they want to go back or not.
Yep.
And it's still fucking horrible. The ability to oversight and prevent child abuse and whatnot is still so ridiculously limited. You know,
all right, so I mean, you're showcasing a community that's exactly like what I'm saying. Instead of like putting them in a area, I'm saying give them a state to just let them be Amish or whatever.
Well, I'm saying that would make it worse.
It keeps. I don't think you guys understand how bad it is. Have you seen the stats in red states? It is worse. Like their education. I don't want to say they're dumber. They don't have the education standards of the more progressive states. They have higher
it's true,
what do you call it, child abuse rates. They have higher maternal death rates, higher infant mortality rates. Like it is already there, except there are people who don't want to be part of that community there. I'm saying let's get them out and leave them and leave. Let's separate them. Like, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. Let's get the people out that need to be out. And let's fund it
like
federally.
A David Koresh. We get like a David Koresh state.
Yeah, but we already allow for them to do it anyway. We have Amish communities. You can start a compound whenever you want. We have fucking Utah.
Like,
all I'm saying is let's federally fund people to get away from and to a place of safety who don't want to be held subjected to what they're already doing. They're already doing it. You guys are like, oh well, what if this and what if that? They're already doing all the stuff. Let's help the people who don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So basically build Gilead on purpose, but set it aside so that the people currently under
too
the
focused
partial
on they are already doing this. They're already doing this. Save the people who don't want to be there. That is my focus. I want people to have the autonomy. You want to live in Gilead, you go the fuck on. If there are people who don't want to live in Gilead, they should not be subjected to that.
I wonder if there'd be any women who would want to live in Gilead if they weren't brainwashed from infancy to feel like they need to be a subservient,
well, but they are. And
yeah, they sure are.
They are imposing it on the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stop that. I need a barrier there. If you have been brainwashed and you're telling me of your own accord, I want to stay in brainwash land, I'm hands off. I have a lot of family and friends that are doing things that I'd rather them not, but they are mentally competent adults who are in a position to do the thing. And I have no recourse but to respect it. And like, honestly, it's the same thing that I'm asking them to do with me. If they were telling me, oh no, you should want to be married, or you should want to have more kids, or you should want to fuck off. Like, if that's what you want, you go do that. And, leave me alone. And so what I'm saying is federally funded, to where you can go do that, and you can only see people with non-blue hair and, whatever, but, and, you can make sure that everybody goes to church on Sunday, and, we have Chick-fil-A rules for the, all the businesses. But if I want to drink on Sunday, like, I should be able to do that. And we're not going to, I mean, right now, since the government isn't taking we have a separation of church and state. It's fucking separated. Like, the people who want to have these things. And again, it's not like they're not trapped. Like, it's not like we're not going to have people there who, you can go to, the courthouse or wherever, same way you can now, and say, hey, I'm in a bad situation, I want out. And then again, we federally fund them to go somewhere else.
Like I want to go somewhere other than Texas, but I can't. I don't have the finances to do that.
Opportunity. Yeah. No, then we fund it. There, would be a halfway house.
I would be with that.
Something like that. Yeah.
But can we give them Florida? Can we give them Florida, please?
I would love that. I would love that.
I would think slide into too. But this seems like the paradox of tolerance, but in with a slight twist to it. It's like, to put it in terms of the Nazi bar. Like, if you allow a Nazi into your bar, now you have a Nazi bar.
Or a Nazi
but instead, we're saying we'll take the Nazis and give them their own bar. It's keeping our bar safe. They still have the choice to be Nazis. We're trying to give people the principal right of self-determination that we insist should be paramount. But at the same time, we're in effect creating the Nazi bar and saying, here you go, stay over there.
We're already doing that. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Already exists.
The Nazis are in the bar, and they're trying to make this bar the Nazi bar.
Right.
Yes.
And so we're just putting parameters. You're not allowed
their own bar, or is it to kick them the fuck out?
No. It is to allow people autonomy. If you want to be surrounded by like-minded people, I believe you have the right to do that. I don't believe you have the right to impose on others, but they're Nazis. They don't have the ability to do that. So we take people who don't want to be around Nazis out of the Nazi environment.
We build Nazi reservations and allow.
And again, it's not Nazi reservations. We're talking about the religious right. And so I understand it makes it, we all want to call them Nazis. But again, like, Utah exists, right? Because like we weren't, the rest of us weren't righteous enough. And I know it looks very different. And if you're from Utah or live in Utah, I'm not saying that you're in a Nazi state or a Nazi bar. I'm saying I'm tired of living in a Nazi state. And well, not that I do, my state in particular, but my government is turning into a Nazi state. And I'm just like, I feel like if they could have their own area where they could be religious, they wouldn't feel the need to resort to these authoritarian tactics to be able to, impose onto the rest of us, because they would feel comforted by their surroundings.
But what do we do when their religion requires of them that they make us all be that way too?
No, and that's what I'm saying.
They have very short attention span. I don't think they will go that far. If they can't see us, it's kind of like, well,
thank you,
I can't
AJ.
see them, so they don't exist,
I don't know. That one guy went to the Sentinelese Islands to try to convert that uncontacted tribe. And
but yeah, and again, part of this is they have their own areas. And and if it's just like Florida and the Bible Belt, if we just want to keep them there, and we say, you know what, this is going to, we're going to allow the religious to make rights within the confines of the Constitution. But if you don't like this, and again, I'm not saying they get full reign to stay in Georgia and enslave the black people and beat the women and But like, if they want to have rules where like there's, you know, let's just say they remove the no fault divorce and the woman's like, I have to get away from this madman. Again, there's the courthouse or wherever that they can go and say, okay, I want to go to a state that does recognize no fault divorce and I need protection for my husband or, you know, whatever, because my state is not allowing this. And we federally fund it because she no longer wants to be there. And again, it is giving people the right to live. You know, I mean, right now they're not. I feel like the thing is that they're feeling like they don't have whatever the fuck it is they want. Like they don't want to see people with blue hair or black skin, whatever.
So we give Marjorie Taylor Greene her national divorce. We reestablish the Confederacy, and we keep federal oversight.
No. The Confederacy was a separate. Confederacy was a separate nation. We're not giving them that.
Well, the Confederacy
we're allowing them
happened because
we're allowing them to
do their own thing.
Yeah, within the confines of the Constitution.
Exactly.
Constraints of the Constitution.
Yeah, that's what we tried to do. We tried to say these states working together, they want to have slavery. That's horrible, but states' rights, whatever.
No, we tried to take we tried to take the thing away from them. And they fucking invaded us, kind of like they're doing now. They were happy to have their own thing. They were not trying to secede when they could do whatever they wanted.
I'm not sure.
It will be very, very tricky.
But tension breaker. We have a super chat from Lord Jester. Who sends $5 somewhere and says, it's almost impossible to change a mindset that is resistant to change. They will fight you tooth and nail. MAGA reservation ahoy. But really? Florida?
Sorry, Florida. Not sorry.
I mean, it's where Mar-a-Lago is. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, give them their key. Yeah, they can even keep
the question is, do we let them back into our country when Florida starts to sink?
I mean,
I guess we might need a safer space.
Do we accept refugees from their shithole country once it starts to sink into the sea?
It's just not in their ethos to not try to take over everything, though. It's like part of what they are about.
Yeah, but my concern will be like, well, yeah, sure, we give them that space, but what if those same people are the ones in charge? They're still gonna want the entire rest of the country.
Why would they?
To be
why would they?
Don't they already?
Their problem right now
the
is
ones
that they
are
don't
up there?
know. Their problem is that we are stepping on their toes. That is their problem. They don't like seeing women, you know, I don't know, having rights, or, you know, they don't like, you know, seeing gay people. They don't like their problem is, and what do you call it? It's like that video we watched, was that Friday, where the couple left Arizona and went to Russia because, you know, they had to see, you know, their children were exposed to, like, their whole problem. When you talk to them, their problem is what they are exposed to.
Right, but
I mean, if they get their own, and the problem is that they feel like we are imposing on them our quote unquote lifestyle of, you know.
Can't we ask Russia to have a program maybe where we could give them a plot of land over there, and they can, since that's the kind of rule that they want, they can go there versus.
That's not a bad idea.
They are American citizens,
but you know,
our problem.
In the situation
there.
Like, oh no, I'm all for that. If we want to like fast track like a Russian citizenship program where it's like you go over there, once you're a Russian citizen, you lose your birthright citizenship here. I'm all for it. But I mean, again, right now they are ours. We have to act as if they are ours, and we have to treat the problem. Their problem is what they
don't like us.
Right. And so I'm like, you know what? You don't want to see us? Fine. You guys stay in Florida. We'll be out here having happy lives. And again, I believe it should be government funded. And, you know,
No, but that is my question. Like the government is already that way. Why?
They get
How
represented.
is
They get representatives. They can, try to send
so?
whatever up, but they only get a handful of states, right? It wouldn't be. So, I mean,
But is Trump and Pete Hegseth going to like move to those
I don't.
areas so they don't have to?
They can do whatever the fuck they want. They're already. I mean, if we're talking about like Florida or like, I've said the Bible Belt, and I think Florida came up too. If we give them the entire Bible Belt plus Florida, and then it's not enough for like a stakeholder takeover.
I mean, at the very least, Maya, you're saying this is already happening. And of course it is. We can see it. So, I mean, right now we still have states where, there's more rights for people. And, presumably that will continue. There will be holdouts, and hopefully we can hold that line of rights in a lot of states. I mean, but so realistically, this to me sounds more like where's our safety network to try to pull people who need to get out of those places where they don't want to live the way the laws are going, and to get them out, to get them to safer states.
Any federal building, like if a woman needs to drop off a package at the post office, she should be able to say, I need help. And they're a federally reported mandated reporter.
Right.
Yeah.
But the issue there is then they'll just not be allowed. Women can't go to the post office. Women can't go out in public on their own. Like they'll just cut off those avenues for help. And it's more complicated than that. It's not just I need to get to safety. It's me and my grandmother who's in a hospital bed, and my children, one of whom has special needs. And there's like whole networks of people who would have to be relocated.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But that's a we the people thing, if you ask me, because the government's already in trouble. Like that's people working together to do
right
this.
now we have, any state that wants to can deny you health care because they don't want to see you, and they are in every state.
Exactly. And how will they not deny you the exit? How do we ensure that they will deny you leaving? Like, how could you convince the current administration to put a program like this? They won't want to.
I'm not talking about the current administration. They want a fascist dictatorship. I want to stop the ability to have anything like the current administration by localizing the problem and not giving it enough federal power to be able to impose this on the rest of us.
Right.
Could you imagine how much?
We have 2 senators and that's it.
And the representatives.
And do you suppose?
But if we're confining this to 5 states,
or however many states, do you suppose with the way they focus on birth rates and how it's a woman's role to pop out as many babies as possible, it'll stay that way?
I mean, they'll have such a high mortality rate, to be fair.
Yeah.
Southern states do have a
mortality
high mortality rate than
very high.
Yeah, it's literally almost like double.
Like
so
30.
It comes with the
a lot, sadly.
kind of stuff. They don't know they're pregnant until
right, but that doesn't change the overall trend of things, right? Like, yes, infant mortality rates are something like 60 per thousand instead of 30 per thousand in the more progressive states. But 60 per thousand versus 30 per thousand is it's not even in the same ballpark as having 11 children versus 2. We're 2 generations from being outpopulated if it goes that way, And also, real quick, in fairness to Florida, not all the people are horrible. There are people who stand up to the bullshit going on there.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
it would
yeah,
have to be a federal program because not everybody would be able to move. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody would even have the ability to move, so they'd have to.
Yeah, we don't have that now. It would be a rehaul.
It would be a whole thing.
Yeah,
a total overhaul.
Total overhaul. Yeah,
Patty, you got a super chat.
I know. I was just gonna say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Muttley. Thank you for the two pound. No, is that pound?
You want a pound?
$2
That's
of
£2,
some
yeah.
kind. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for being here. I'm so glad this time worked out for you. It's good to see you.
Yeah,
You know how
yeah.
much it would
Yeah,
ungum up
sorry,
our
late to the
government,
party.
though, if we
Love
didn't
and
have
sorry.
all these cases continuously hitting the Supreme Court and, each
Why
state.
would it hit the Supreme
Well,
Court?
I'm saying how much it would ungum up
Oh,
our
ungum.
government.
I thought you said it would
Yeah.
gum up. No,
No,
I
no,
do. I agree with that. It would,
like
yeah.
all because we could actually focus on embettering ourselves instead of consistently having to fight back to keep what we have.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a benefit.
And I'm telling you, like AJ said, it really is out of sight, out of mind with these people. If they don't if they're in a place where they don't have to see Black people, they don't have to see gay people, and anybody, a school, if I go to my teacher on my graduation day or, whenever, and I'm like, I want to relocate, to a safer state. And again, the other states would have to, it would kind of be like, like we do with refugees in every state. If we can take people from every other fucking country as a refugee, we could take people, our own homeborn citizens out of 5 states, and give them the resources they need to be able to, grow and thrive and be productive citizens and, in a different state. I don't. But again, it keeps everything out of sight, out of mind. Where seriously, the conservatives, when if you try to tell them, oh well, it's the trans people, but they're not seeing trans people, and they're just going to be like, no, that's weird. Like, what are you talking about? This isn't a problem. It's a problem because they see it. It's not a problem. That is their problem. They don't want to see it.
That's a them problem.
It's an us problem. It is ostensibly an us problem.
Because they keep trying to make it law because they think that's what they're supposed to do with their stupid ideas from their stupid book. That they think that they're supposed to make it law and impose it on all of us.
And
That's
they don't
the
even
problem.
follow
So let
the
them give
damn
Maya. I
book.
think Maya wants to give them their own little thing where they can make their own stupid laws as long as they don't violate human rights and people can migrate out of the country or whatever that they're in. Like
state. They're still Americans. It would be a state. If you
They
want to
have
be a
their good-
religious nut job, you have a right to do that as long as you're not hurting people or giving them poison Kool-Aid.
I think
Texas would be better than Florida, but we can give them the whole Gulf Coast though, and they can pretend
No, that's
the Gulf of America.
I said give them the entire Bible Belt, including Florida, because there's a lot of them.
So reestablish the Confederacy.
It is the Confederacy is a different country. They did not have the problem with the Confederacy is that they were abusing human rights. I am not saying, and you are strawmanning my position when you call it the Confederacy.
The doctrine
I don't
of
see it's a
discovery
feasible option at this juncture anyway. It's an idea. It's a thing to talk about and explore.
Yeah, of course. What else could it be? Seriously, what else could it be? Like nobody federally is thinking about this. I just threw it out there as an option.
Are you sure?
The federal and state level gerrymandering will not allow for any new secessions or annexations of territories because it will throw off the delicate balance of left and right politics in our country. Everything's so fucking that's why this shit's happening in Texas and California right now, because everything's so tightly gerrymandered that just moving a line a few blocks can shift the entire balance in the area from red to blue. And they won't budge on this. They won't let anybody secede. They won't annex any new territories. And we're locked right now. The only war will an internal conflict, strife where we split violently. Will a secession be successful?
Start walking out of our jobs.
One of the issues with this kind of proposition is a few years down the road, we get a situation where they're like, okay, now we're going to oppress our women, try and stop us. And as soon as we try and stop them,
what do you mean by
around and say they're trying to take away our freedoms? It's war.
What do you mean by control, though? I mean, if they try to make them all wear red Gilead dresses, I mean, again, they can have a dress code. But
What
if
about
we're saying that
the gay kids born into that nation though? I'd feel like, I mean, we'd want to be able to get them out, but they wouldn't. I mean, they'd be raised from birth to like hate themselves as a gay person, and they may never come out of the closet.
Already are. They already are.
I know. I was
they're
one of them.
denying themselves, and when they see other gay people, it makes them want to take their internal hatred out on them too.
I don't know. I don't like it. This does echo the Confederacy, because yes, they thought the North was going to come take away their slaves.
Show me a parallel. You're talking about what you are talking about is
happened.
It is not okay. No, you're talking about a slippery slope, and it is not. It is inconsistent with what I'm saying.
Ember, are you going out geographically mirrors the Confederacy? Is that purely geographic?
Partly. Okay, so remember the Missouri Compromise. It was a tense piece, but everybody basically said the South can do what the South wants, the North can do what the North wants, and we only use the federal government to deal with international trade.
And this is why you're straw manning, because I'm not saying the South can do what the South wants, because the South was engaging in human rights violations.
Right, but the
they
thing
will
that
be
triggered the war. And this would entail necessary human rights violations, even if they're voluntary.
But as opposed to what they're doing now and imposing it on the entire country.
But them
so
doing
we're saying,
it now does not make it okay.
So we're saying,
just because it's currently happening doesn't mean it's okay. That's
it's
the
not
main
okay.
problem.
That's actually the entire thing. It is not okay. We are trying to keep people safe, and we are trying to allow the maximum amount of autonomy as possible. And when the religious right see people with their own autonomy, they are taking it out on everybody. And so this keeps more people safe.
I don't think it does. I think it leads inevitably to war. Because
I don't know how we get there either.
How do we get to war? How do we get to war? It's the United States Army against, I mean, and it's a drone war against a bunch of like white trash with rifles. Like, how do you get to war?
Well, we had the same situation with the Confederacy. The Union Army.
No. We did not have an army. We did not have an army. We did not have an army. We did not have an army.
Right. It was drawn.
We did have an army in Vietnam, though. Those were people like country boys with rifles.
We did not have drones either.
Yeah, and the American Revolution.
We don't do boots on the ground wars anymore. We don't do boots on the ground. We don't do boots on the ground wars anymore. We also didn't have the what do you call it? What's the state thing that Trump just threw into DC? National Guard.
Yeah,
like they didn't have any of those things. There was nothing. There was a Second Amendment saying that people could have their own guns and form their own militias, and that's what happened.
The point are different. A rebellion couldn't succeed. The point is that won't stop people from rebelling, because
they're already rebelling. They're already rebelling, and they're dragging us into.
Let them?
No, we should not. That is my point, and why I keep saying that you're strawmanning my position. You've got something going on in your head where Maya's talking about a confederacy, and all you keep thinking about is like what happened in the 1700s, and that we did not. We ostensibly did not.
But Maya, I don't get how your idea would happen right now when they're already in charge and they're turning the military on us right now to impose their.
It would be right now.
It's a thought
experiment. Like we're not like that's completely different. We're just talking about how it would work. And functionally, I'm not talking about how it would be implemented. I'm saying these fuckers are annoying and they're going to keep doing this as long as they keep seeing us. So let's get them the fuck out of the way to where they don't have to see us and they can stop hurting us. All I'm saying.
I think it will bring a whole lot of different problems. I do see what Ember is saying, like separating, like if you take out the people that feel unsafe and only leave the people that are, Nazis and fundamentalist Christians, then I did say that they have very short sight, but at the same time, I think that they will try to think, because they do like expansion, they like power.
They don't. And I don't know why people are saying this, because like they weren't trying to make the northern states have slaves. They weren't trying to do anything with the northern states. The only thing they did with it, when they held power, the Confederacy just said, we want to keep our slaves. They weren't trying to impose their religious ideations onto other states. So, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. This is a slippery slope argument that has no we're just not seeing it out in the wild, like North Carolina.
The key to it isn't the specifics of what they did. The key to it is the fact that they had their own area to do their own thing as long as they stayed under federal power. And it wasn't the North trying to take away their slaves. It was them saying, oh, this Lincoln guy got elected, he's going to take away our slaves. The same way Obama's going to take away our guns. Was that also
the threat to them that their slaves would be taken away?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Yeah, they were afraid that there's. Well, I mean, it just was going to happen. There wasn't a market for what they were selling, so I mean, it was inevitable. But like all that aside, the fear of all of that is what caused the rebellion. And again, if things aren't set up the way that they were back then. And again, they weren't trying to do this world domination takeover. They started that since we started they have this idea that we are trying to do this to them. If they have more autonomy, if they're allowed to live the way they want to live, there's no reason. I mean, we haven't seen any reason for them that they have tried to impose on us anything outside of them not being allowed to do whatever it is they want to do. Right now, their thing is I don't know, like in their head, we are trying to impose our culture, worldview, lifestyle, whatever, onto them. What?
Ryan, you're muted.
Oh, so Ryan was talking. Go ahead.
I was talking to the dogs.
Oh, okay.
I was pointing at the hive sign under my name, so people make sure people know that that's who I am, and my links are down below. Because someone just asked, and
that's right. Everyone are linked in the description.
Yes, everybody here is in my description box too.
While I'm talking, though, I do want to say that the only way that we're going to truly end slavery is when we abolish the way that we do with our prison system right now, because right now that's slave labor, and
and they're trying to grow it,
and that's what prisons are used for. And I think I anticipate that part of the solution that's going to be presented for dealing with the agricultural issues faced with not allowing immigrants to come in as they have to these valleys for hundreds of years to harvest crops, they're going to have prisoners going to be trying to have prisoners do that, which is going to be ugly.
Well, I mean, they're already trying to do it. They're trying to like throw us back into feudalism or this technocracy thing, which is tantamount. But like what I see them doing is pricing us out of our own homes and making homelessness illegal, throwing us into prisons, and then per our own constitution, prison labor is a valid form of slavery. And we just, we're just giving the rich carte blanche to what they actually want, which is free labor.
Well, right. I mean, their whole ideology is prisoners. It's power based, and that power is hungry and is going to keep looking for more and more supply, a little bit like a narcissistic relationship, and just take and take and take to feed their ideology. And I don't see how to, it's like that's the piece that's problematic for all of us if we want to live differently than that, is that their whole core drives them to not let us do what we want to do.
Right.
Ryan mopping herself up.
Well, because they don't. And again, it's because they don't want to.
I see a doggy butt.
Big dog butt.
Dog butt.
And balls.
Ryan got an extra shower today.
Oh my God. I'll shower after this. After I go to the gym.
Aw.
Oh my goodness.
That's the hazards of being a dog mom, though.
Oh yeah, but we love them. I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
I don't mind. It's just I'll just be extra furry, no big deal.
Extra.
You
for-
look
to keep nice
fantastic,
and
like always,
warm.
Sam.
As you
All right.
beautiful.
So I'm not nearly as advanced as Chris or Bree, but I have been working on building up some commercials. I found a cool thing floating on the internet, and the talk of dementia earlier reminded me of it. So I'll run it for us now. We'll take a real quick break, and when we get back, we'll try to refocus on Dobson and his legacy.
We'll try.
Try.
Oh, wait, I have to do multiple buttons in different places.
I love
No,
I'm
it.
gonna
that's
go
not
to the
it.
bathroom.
There we go.
So
And we've got 2 minutes.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal.
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
the late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro, Venezuela? It's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words,
The failing New York Times by anonymous, really anonymous.
struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
Oh, that's so
That-
good.
That's a fun one.
What
Yeah,
were the
that was
oranges of that video? Where did it orange from?
I really hate these
a
videos.
lot of
I-
people in the chat are saying Midas Touch. I found it on a random
Mhm.
YouTube channel that just had clips from other channels. But I did test upload it on one of my extra channels, and it came back with no copyright issues.
Hmm.
So maybe it's public, maybe I don't know. But
I was just wondering where it originate from, but
is this our rally against the gerontocracy?
I hear you.
gerontocracy.
Kind of.
And as a person who threw out that we should maybe not let we should have age maximums as well as minimums for the presidency. But also an advocate for the elderly. I really hate videos like this. And I was saying, so I have Chris Mahdi in my thing where I was like, hey, do you want to do a thing against the what was that? Was it Cosmic Skeptic or whatever? Did a thing about talking to the religious right. I don't know. I just hate videos like this where it's like, okay, I have a thought and I'm going to show you all the information and research that I got that got me to this thought. And it doesn't do a really good job of educating the masses on what the alternative is. Because I think that, well, first of all, I wish I'd seen this as a video or a paper or something, but having worked in a retirement home, we get people that come and talk to us a lot. I'm kind of concerned that, you know, the American zeitgeist, at least, is moving along with a lot of things. We've progressed on a lot of the way we think about women's role in society, the LGBT's role in society, Black people's role in society. We have not budged in almost 40 years on a role of the elderly in society, which is interesting to me since we're all getting there. We don't talk about what a normal aging brain looks like versus a dementia brain. And for somebody who's always been eccentric like Trump, and for, you know, a public who doesn't have any experience with Joe Biden, the only way that you could see dementia versus normal aging is to have, well, if you're not a trained psychologist who has like all the metrics and can chart out stuff, then you'd have to see them along a spectrum to see, is this within their personality? Trump's an idiot. He's always been an idiot. He's always made outrageous claims to be, what do you call it? For shock effect. He took out a full page like in the 80s, which was what he would have been in his 40s or 50s, about the Central Park Five, against all evidence. Like he just completely bypassed evidence and said, no, they're Black. They belong in jail. Like that for me, like, how is that not demented? I really want to, I'll rein it in, I'll swear, because I know I've been talking a lot this show. I really want to rail against ageist tropes. We, as the general public of Americans, don't have enough information to label Biden or Trump as demented or having dementia. It's a mental illness. It is not, I repeat, not a normal part of aging. If you know, we saw Betty White, who was, you know, clear and lucid, but we got to see her entire, pretty much her entire adulthood life.
She started in TV in her 20s.
Exactly. Died at 99 and still pretty much in the spotlight. She did Hot in Cleveland when she was 89 or 90. So like, and this is what I'm saying, like, she could have had dementia. She could have been like pulling it together. Like with Ronald Reagan, you know, they were piecing together parts of him to make him look like he was more sane than he actually was. We don't get to see all of a person. So I really, really, really want to want people to be cognizant of value judgments that they're making on the health of other people. And I hate Trump as much as the next person, but I believe a society should be judged on how they treat their young, their lame, their elderly. And, you know, this goes beyond Trump. I think we need to be very careful about what we're throwing out there and what we're allowing ourselves to think. So I'm going to mute, and you guys be curious.
I completely agree with you, and it kind of, it's the same way that it bothers me with people call religious people mentally ill. I'm like, please don't do that.
So I just wanted to say that that Maya mentioned that we hadn't budged on how we treat the elderly in society, and I think we have in the wrong direction. And I think that the blame of that is this nuclear family idea, because it used to be that the older generations would kind of slow down as in their contribution as they got older to the family, start doing more stuff around the house, watching the grandkids, cooking meals and stuff like that, and living in a multi-generational household. And now they don't have that, and they're expected to just, the kids leave the home and they're expected to just figure out how to care for themselves when they get old, and start suffering from, you know, we're at being disabled is a community that almost everybody joins at some point in their life, right? The longer you live, the better your chances of joining it. Whether it's mental decline or physical decline, eventually you're going to need to depend on somebody else. And it used to be in our society, Western society, that people are so proud of, that it was the norm for you to have grandma or grandpa living with you, dying at home with their family, things like that. I mean, I know that sounds awful, but it also helps to helps people to understand and express, accepting death and change like that. It's good for it's good for the multi-generational people to be together from birth to death. We're social animals. We're tribal animals. We like to be with our own. And this idea pushed in the 50s was just to get women out of the workforce, I think, first and foremost. And our move from agricultural society to industrial society didn't help. But
no, because it forced a lot of people to come out of the farms to go into the cities to work. Yeah. And then you're siloed in. Yeah. But I mean, yeah. And they used it to their advantage too, because now, you know, oh, well, if you don't have 3 generations in a household, now you need 3 washers and dryers and 3 houses and 3, you know, cars and so on and so forth.
So, yay, capitalism.
Right.
And it was multi-generational households were shamed. There's some, if grandma was living with you, there's something wrong with her. She couldn't take care of herself. If an adult child stayed with you and lived with you and helped out, oh, that kid's just not able to leave the nest. Even though for most of human history, the norm has been that, you know, some kids stay home, some kids go out, you know, to take care of it. Some stay home to take care of the previous generations. And yeah, there's problems with that. Like the expectation that the oldest daughter would be the one to stay home and take care of the younger kids. Yeah, there were social issues with that, but it was still normal for multi-generations to live together. And now older people have to work until they die, basically. If you didn't save your retirement right, if you didn't save up your money, if you didn't find a stable place to live, if you don't have kids that will fork over the money for you to have a place to live, yeah, eventually you're going to be somebody's burden, or you're going to feel like somebody's burden.
That bias against multi-generational families also has negatively affected our immigrant populations, because that's still like a standard way that they might have lived, and so they bring that here, and then of course it's hard to break into the American economy in a lot of ways without generational wealth, and so they may still live in multi-generational homes, and they're kind of vilified for that. Like
houses aren't constructed for that anymore, so that you got 14 people living in a house that's built for 5 people, because we don't build them like we used to. Like you ever like look at an old plantation house or something, they had like 9 bedrooms, right? But you don't see that anymore.
Yeah,
I know. Even growing up,
I live next to
states that have like councils that are trying to regulate like renters, like not allowing generational renters, and even discouraging roommates. Like they just want to make it either a single family or a single person. Like if you're not like directly related, they want to we've had that issue in Pennsylvania. People were fighting it.
Yeah,
like
here in New York, when I lived in the city, the neighbors were an immigrant family. And they had a single house that was rated for 4 people, but they had 18 people in it. And the police came to evict them because it violated some ordinance. They're just not allowed to do that. Oh, the fire hazard, whatever hand wavy nonsense. But like, yeah, they if you try to live a way that is culturally natural, historically natural, like every group of humans comes from a clannish structure.
It's ecological. It's our ecological state. Yeah, as a species.
Yeah, we're actively enforcing against it.
For money, they want money. Like Rion was saying, they want, if everybody has to live in an individual place, they all have to pay their own rent, right? You can't have one provider and one homemaker or something like that in a household anymore. You
can't pool your money
unless you're willing to marry them.
Their resources or that. Yeah.
Dobson advocated so hard for the nuclear family, which supported all of that. I mean, it supported the capitalism of that, and he was able to back it up with his version of religiosity to push that narrative forward, and it drove out all of those more traditional ideas around multi-generation.
Which is weird, because Jesus would have wanted us all to take care of Nana. I think Jesus would have been like, "Hey, Nana doesn't need to be a Walmart greeter. She can
watch the kids
with dinner or something."
Well, no, he said that. Yeah, blessed are the widows. Like he really did.
He also
to take care of her.
Leave your father and mother. Leave your son and daughter. leave your brothers and sisters and come follow me. And that's the passage they highlight. They're like, oh, forget your damn family. You need to focus on you being righteous. So follow.
How about those 10 commandments though? Is it honoring your mother to let her go into poverty working at McDonald's?
Ooh.
I mean, those are kind of optional, though, right? Like that's their whole thing. They only use the 10 commandments when it's convenient because they don't actually care about the religion. It's just a facade to go for whatever power they're going for. So sometimes they'll invoke the 10
sell more shit.
Yeah, like they ignore that one when it's them, but they'll bring it up as soon as they can try to shame someone with it. Have you ever looked at a woman with lust? You know,
and they're not, and they admit they're not under.
I'm doing it right now.
They'll use it when they want to.
Probably
times 5, baby.
We want to fuck you too. Mwah, mwah.
We're aggressively sex positive over here.
Yeah,
that's right. Aggressively. I love that. Yeah. And speaking of which, your titties are on point today, Brie. Like that. I'm loving the cleavage.
I love that top.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it cute?
I've
had it for a long time too.
And the color. I love that color.
I love that color.
It's like teal. It looks really good with coral. I wish I had some coral beads to wear with it. I used to have a coral bracelet that I'd wear with it. It broke, but it looked really good with that. With the
compliment.
You look hot and everything. Stop it. It's okay.
It's not fair.
Turning back to the JJ show.
I mean, it was Java and Jugs, right?
We're just gonna keep gassing each other's tits up.
I know, right?
We'll never get anywhere.
It is Java and Jugs, and I was saying to Ember last night that I've dubbed mine virtual Java and Jugs because, like, I was saying, you know, when I talk about the two streams, I'm like, well, I've got BSS, and then I guess people are going to start calling the other one the JJ show. The JJ show. Missed an opportunity if I don't throw a V in there somewhere. So yeah, it's I don't know.
JJ.
Now, so now I'm calling it the JJ show, and it makes sense because it's BJJ.
Oh my gosh. Nicely done. I love it.
We should call the show that has a different name every day.
No, but yeah, my thumbnails still say Java and Jugs. So I mean, yeah, I'm still sticking with the brand. We are Java and Jugs.
J and J.
Quickly running out of Java though.
Our intro.
Mine is
I could just make a new intro, but like
no. You
make an intro that features my jugs more, Ember.
I know, right? You know what? I need to get a better jug shirt.
You hadn't been on the show yet. You missed that day, so I had to use a clip from I think it was like the previous week's transpositions or something. Like, I just need video from Bree somewhere else, and so I didn't have like video from the show, and
yeah,
I have to work quick.
You probably won't see me wearing something like this on well, maybe I'll wear this on transpositions. Whatever I can do for views, right? Get my
We're just giving you shit. Stop being so defensive.
Get the clicks. I mean, that's capitalism too, right? Like we're making the choice to do it, but it's even if it's self-exploiting, it's still exploitative. But the alternative is we can't do this as much.
I've waited my whole life to exploit these. You don't understand.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You do understand. Maybe Ember is somebody who does understand, but yes.
Yeah, you are and we respect your bodily autonomy to flaunt your tatas whenever you feel like it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
No complaints.
Take this, Dobson.
He's rolling in his grave.
Yeah.
So is it where's the new public toilet at?
Right? People were asking. Actually, somebody asked on one of the not Twitters the other day, where is he buried? And everybody got excited because they saw and they were like, oh, did it happen? And they're like, no, we're talking about Dobson. But people want to know. They're like, where is it? Where can we go pay respects?
I just want my respects. I want to respect him like he respected me. That's all I want.
Exactly.
I'm being very sincere.
It doesn't have anything about his burial on the wiki yet.
Yet.
If we're back to him
yet.
I know one thing, we talked about corporal punishment a little bit, but he advocated for a method where you weren't angry, you were calm. And so I think it put forth this idea that like it was somehow better because you weren't just lashing out in anger, right? Because that I think had actually started getting traction in the media, because like by the early 70s, spanking was being like banned in other countries around the world and being questioned here. And so I almost saw what he was doing as like his sort of apologetic or his method to try to make people feel like, no, this is okay. I just have to not be screaming in anger when I do it. But it's gross because it would come around to like you spank the child and then you talk about how much you love them. And so it was this really disgusting pairing of violence with it's because I love you. Like that's kind of messed up.
Disconnected with
it became a meme. I hit you because I love you became a meme from that.
Right. And
but it's a meme because that internalized by so many, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but that really did become internalized by a lot of people, women especially.
This hurts me more than it hurts you.
Yes. Well, no, it's not that. You're equating love with not just pain, not pain, but like abuse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't, and we do know that like the way that a parent treats a child is the foundation for all other relationships throughout life. So, I mean, it just really did a number on the entire nation, really, with that. We need to normalize loving.
Normalizing bad things. Yeah.
Well, we need to normalize, say we, but society needs to normalize loving people with love and not, you know.
With violence.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be loved, you have to behave this way.
Yeah.
It's another one of those insidious religious tie-ins. You know, Jesus loves you, which is why he'll send you to hell if you don't obey. It's just reiteration. And we've also learned that it does set the stage for future relationships. Like we've learned about cycles of abuse in the past decades and how they repeat from generation to generation, that when kids grow up and have their own kids and they don't know what to do because they're not educated on how to be good parents, all they have is their parents for an example. Out of fear, they just copy what their parents did. Right. And I've talked before about how when I faced a conundrum in how to deal with my kids, I would think about what my parents would do. And usually I would do the opposite. That wasn't always the right answer, but I hope I did a better job than my parents did. But it does set the stage too. Like you were saying, Maya, you know, I grew up in a situation where I was basically the de facto adult. And it left me in a situation where I felt like my needs always came last, if at all. And so when I got into a serious adult relationship, that's how I behaved, with the internal expectation that my needs should come last, if at all. And even though the person I got into a relationship with didn't have that idea, the way we behave with each other shapes expectations. Like people talk about love languages. The things you put out are telling people that's what you want to receive. And so my internalized attitude shaped how all my partners interacted with me. They'd pick up the subconscious signs and they'd say, this is how this person needs to be treated. And I ended up getting treated that way. And I was incredibly unhappy for a very long time because of it.
And that does seem like very on tracking with how I think most girls are socialized. That's just standard.
Yeah, I didn't even see it in myself until my oldest started to talk about deconstructing that kind of model, because in their case, it was the same thing. I ended up never being home as a parent because of situations that I had to become a truck driver. I needed a job that came with a bed. So I was virtually never there, which pissed me off because it was the one thing I wanted to avoid. You know, my mother worked nights. My father was always at the bar. And I didn't want that for my children, but I was forced into a situation where I had no other option. And my kids were in the same sort of boat I was. You know, I was never around. Their other parent was just not physically there, not emotionally there. Like, they would only ever encounter my oldest to scream at them about something they did wrong and then disappear again. And so my oldest ended up having to deconstruct the same sort of thing and be like, no, my needs are important. I do deserve to be loved. Fuck this shit.
Yeah. Look how you're breaking the chains, though. Even though you couldn't like completely change how it played out in your life, you had that intent, and like it is breaking, right? Like that's good.
Yeah.
Maya and I have both talked about that, moving away from corporal punishment with our kids because we matured as parents and put that. And I've apologized in so many words to my oldest, because my younger kids were after my awakening, and they didn't get it so bad as my oldest did. But I was like still very much under my father's standards with my oldest child, and so I did. And I did do that, like Ember says too. I worked factories overnight and slept all day. Didn't hardly get to be part of his life like I wanted to. Left him with it was a stepmom at the time. So, and then it was just I didn't get to be there for him like I wanted to. And when I was there, I was expected to be a disciplinarian. I could get us the list of things he did wrong while I was gone, and I was supposed to go punish him for it. So I was somebody who was scared of coming home until maybe like 2012 or so.
It's more patriarchy. Like, when we say patriarchy, we aren't doing just a woke buzzword kind of thing. It's just representative of what we mean, where the father figure is distant and absent, like God, and someone you're supposed to be afraid of, like God, and just trust that they love you and have your best interests in heart, but they are going to hurt you, you know?
And it does fuck with the dads too. That's why you had so many dads that would get fucking blind drunk before they go deal with the kids, so that they didn't have to
do it sober.
Yeah. My dad got blind drunk before he came and whipped our asses.
Wow.
But then you hear people.
His dad got blind drunk before he came and whipped his ass.
Yeah.
Right.
And look at you breaking that. Like, that is something to celebrate, everybody. You know?
Yeah. But that's how you break it, because you always hear people say, oh yeah, I was spanked and I spanked my kids and we all turned out okay. And no, you did not turn out okay if you're spanking your kids.
No, methinks no.
And I mean, it's
right?
Yeah, but it's hard though too, because the spare the rod, spoil the child rhetoric is still permeating, especially with the poor and the lower middle class. Like, they're not getting this. They're raising their children differently than upper middle and elite people. And even with me, so my son at least was on the spectrum, and I heard all the time, he doesn't need therapy. You don't hit him enough. People just aren't. I stopped thinking, because like I got, like I said earlier, I was working with therapists who said, try this instead. And I'm like, well, and I had at least the foresight to understand. It's like, well, what I'm doing isn't working, and it got me in front of you. So if it doesn't work, I didn't, a lot of times what they said to do, I didn't think it would work. And I was just like, okay, fine, I'll do this. I will do it to a T. And when it doesn't work, then what? But it did. And, and it was win-win. So I think a lot of people too, especially today, think that, oh, well, I'm their parent, so I'm the best person who would know what's best for them. And, we also have to learn to get out of our own way.
Let me tell you, it's a lot harder to learn how to communicate positively with your kid than it is to like beat out their behavior out of them. It takes a lot of work, but it works. It works. It really does work. And I don't know, I try to use this with adults too in my life. Right? Like, you don't go and just like try to punish someone when they do something bad. Like, I try to communicate with them first before making that assessment of whether, you know, do I really need to just completely cut them out, or do they just need a little bit of understanding and, you know, communication from me?
Yeah, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it this way? What do you hope to gain? What do you think is likely to happen? What might be a better way to go about this if this is your goal?
Right.
Like, you're expected to violate your child's bodily autonomy and consent when they're misbehaving, and I think that there's better ways to conduct yourself as an adult and to teach your child to do better. But
it's wild to me. Yeah.
It's bootstraps mentality, though. They're like, it builds character, it builds respect, it just builds fear. Honestly, that's what studies have. That's what studies have shown, but it really fits in with this right-wing conservative ideology of building characters, especially when it comes to dividing how you discipline and treat the genders and the different methodologies that you would use. Like, you know, I would get savagely beat with a belt where my sister would get her phone taken away. So
really, God,
yeah.
Well, I know one of Dobson's most famous books was The Strong-Willed Child. And I know that I heard those words toward me a lot as a kid. And so he advocated for, it's so ridiculous. He said, you don't want to break their spirit, but you want to break their will. I'm like, what are you even talking about? You know, I mean, and there's, I don't know that he specifically advocated for it, but in that genre of child rearing ideas was the whole blanket training thing, where you'd have a blanket on the ground and, you know, like a 6-month-old baby, like not quite crawling even. And if they got to the edge of the blanket and tried to leave the blanket, pick them up, spank them, put them back on the blanket. So they learned that was their boundary. And I can't think of a better way to completely stop curiosity, you know, and curiosity is how we learn, how we grow. And to do that to a small child with pain inflicted on their body, it's about the grossest thing I can possibly imagine. And it's everything that Dobson did in so many ways.
That blanket thing, they show it on the on that show, Shiny Happy People, the Doggers.
Yeah,
they talk about that, how she trained the kids like that. She did.
I think you could blanket train without violence, really. I mean,
I think so. I'm sure
you just redirect the kid back to the blanket every time they start to crawl off, and then they're blanket trained eventually. You don't have, without the smacking. The smacking seems like it's there for the parent.
Works faster.
I don't know why you would need a blanket train. Like,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's still going to stop curiosity, right? If you tell them, "This is your world now, kid. Get used to it." Here's
your world. Your world is
Like,
where I tell you it is.
Yeah. The actual lesson is obey, even if you're not giving clear instructions. Even if you don't know where the rules are, there will be pain if you don't. That's the lesson that's being taught, not stay on the blanket. That's just the effect that it's working.
Right, exactly.
Here's your limit.
This is what I was talking about earlier, the dehumanizing, or sort of like seeing children as less than human, because it's legal for people to spank their kids however they want in the name of, you know, discipline. But if you do that to an adult, it's called assault.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's why we had to make child abuse an actual crime. That's, believe it or not, that's a progressive thing. That wasn't always the case, just like spousal rape and so many other things.
Or even spousal abuse.
Yeah.
Like my grandmother used to, she stopped calling the cops on her husband because they just told her to mind, and he wouldn't hit her.
Oh, you know, the whole rule of thumb, that's the idea that you could hit your wife with a stick no bigger than the width of your thumb.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But you could hit her.
But that's not true, actually. If that's
okay.
That's a
it's not. Oh, that's
about the origin of it. But yeah.
Okay. Well, thank goodness.
But yeah. The fact that that's believable, though, is it kind of punctuates the problem.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Some people took it that way, even though that wasn't the actual origin.
And I'm sure people enforcing it thought of it that way too. Like, oh, I need to switch the size of my thumb. Yeah, but
it's not bad unless it's a.
There's still denominations that believe there's no such thing as spousal rape. They still believe that's like that once you're married, you've signed a commitment to give it up whenever he wants it.
You're one flesh and you can't rape yourself. So, but yeah, the thumb thing, it did happen in practice, even though that's not the proper origin of the term. A lot of kids, many people watching possibly, remember being told to go pick out their own switch to be beaten with. And if they didn't pick a good enough one, they wouldn't like what was picked for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got hit with a wooden spoon. That was our family's choice.
I don't think the patriarchy realizes, like Liam's pointing out here, that women's rights has probably saved a lot of men's lives. Their wives being able to divorce them instead of putting them in the grave.
No, it definitely has. It definitely has. Yeah. I can't remember what show I was on, but oh my God, I was now I can't remember where my stats were, but fewer men stopped poisoning themselves after the no-fault divorce, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. Poisoning themselves. Like he just
there have been nurses that were busted for providing those services to women's husbands, and they've done, and just like in like one village in Europe, there was like over 100 women who had hired this nurse to off their husband for them.
I love
just to show you how awful it was when women couldn't get divorced. You were just forced to be property with somebody you hated.
Somebody gives me complicated feelings.
You could legally beat you. You were still slavery for women, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have
to. I'm not done with caffeine. I've moved on to Coke.
Oh yeah, I need to get out of here by 11:32. So
not trying to tell you all to get off, but I need to.
No. Yeah, show yourself.
This is a good time to wrap up. We're all on about
2 hours in.
We've explored the fallout of bullshit like Dobson's, and we did the controversy thing, which is good for community engagement too, I suppose. So yeah, we've covered all the
welcome.
We even had a commercial today. Go us. So,
we want people that there will be strong opinions. So
it's true.
I'm perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, we were diplomatic about it.
So thank you all so much for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. We will have some kind of announcement about the future of what the hell we're doing and when the hell we're doing it. So stay tuned for that. But do join us tomorrow, probably on all the same channels. And yeah, thank you all for coming. As always, thanks to all of the members of the panel, myself included. All of our links are in the descriptions. And yeah, we will. What is it Chris says? Sin safely. Let's do that one today.
Yes, that's the one.
My friends. Bye.
Yeah, toodle.